Arceus Duraludon Umbreon is in a fantastic spot in the metagame right now, and this is evidenced by the list we see in front of us today, piloted by Bhodi to the championship in the seniors division of NAIC. It's also very similar to the list that Ian Robb used, so if you're looking at the second place list from the Masters division, it's going to be very similar, focused in on the Arceus V-Star card, a very powerful V-Star Pokemon with 280 HP, 3 colorless energy. It attacks for Trinity Nova, 200 damage, searches out 3 energy from our deck and attaches them to any of our Pokemon V that we like. This is able to power up cards like Duraludon V and Umbreon V very quickly, meaning that you've got lots of different attacking options in a format where you have lots of weaknesses to cover. You also have the V-Star Power Starbirth, which is, as we know, one of the best V-Star powers in the game, allowing you to once in the game search for any 2 cards that you like and put them into your hand. This can help you set up the attacker that you need, or can give you access to cards like Switch that you might want to get out of the active. Let's take a look at the main attackers though. This is the real crux of the deck. Duraludon VMAX is an incredibly powerful VMAX Pokemon. 330 HP, is very bulky, and as a dragon type it has no weakness, and its G-Max Pulverization attack is super consistent for a fighting and 2 metal energy. We deal 220 damage and we hit through any effects that might be on our opponent's active Pokemon. So let's just say that an Alolan Vulpix V-Star is attacked into us and it can't be damaged by a Pokemon with abilities. We'll be able to hit through that for 220 damage. It's also super strong because Lugia V-Star is super strong, and the Skyscraper ability means that no Pokemon with special energy attached can deal damage to Duraludon. We also have a 2-2 line of Umbreon VMAX. 310 HP is not quite so big, but it's weak to grass, so effectively no weakness. This card is super strong because 1, its Mac Darkness attack can knock out a Gardevoir EX, which is very, very strong, 160 times by 2 because of weakness. We'll take that KO, but more importantly, it allows you to use the ability Dark Signal, which means when you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, you can use, effectively, Boss's Orders, right? Gust up a Pokemon from your opponent's bench, bring it into the active, and the power of using Gust and other cards like Iono or Judge, super powerful to not only take knockouts on your opponent's active Pokemon, but also to disrupt them. We've also got one card in this deck that I really love. It is the Fettered in Misfortune Spiritomb, which when it's in play turns off abilities of all basic V Pokemon. It's a nice soft counter to cards like Lumineon V, and it hard counters Genesect V in Mew VMAX. So very useful. Let's jump out into the ladder. We'll see if we can get a couple of games with it, maybe just one, to be brutally honest. We'll see how we go. But this list is super great. In the description, as usual, subscribe, do all the stuff. Let's go over to the game. We have a pretty awkward start here, I'm not going to lie. We have a Lumineon V in the active, which is our least favourite starter, to be brutally honest, but we do have a very interesting matchup here. We are going to be playing against Lost Tina, a deck that has kind of been on the periphery for quite a while. There are some people in the community who think that Lost Tina is abysmal, absolutely terrible, whereas others think that it might just be one of those decks that could potentially win World Championships. I'm not so sure. I'm not so convinced. I'm going to test it out a couple of times over the next couple of weeks. We'll see how we go. But right now, our opponent cannot know what we are playing. We've only got a Lumineon V in the active, and we know that we have access to Judge and Nest Ball, so hopefully we can find Energy and Arceus here. Let's play the Nest Ball down first, I think, because then we can search out an Arceus, which would be pretty good. So we'll play that Nest Ball. We'll get an Arceus here, and then also, I think... Well, I mean, there's lots of different options for us, and this is the real tricky bit with this deck. Duraludon and Umbreon are both good attackers, both very useful. We're going to go for Dura here, and I'm going to use Switch. Oh, I probably don't... If I whiff the energy, it's really bad. But we're going to go for it. Then we're going to play Judge. We're going to reduce our opponent's hand size to 4, and hopefully we find an energy card. We don't. Okay, so not looking too good here, but I mean, we can just grab another Arceus with another Nest Ball and end the turn. Not the play that I was looking for. I'm not going to lie to you. When I started recording this game, I was hoping that we would get Energy and Arceus and be on our way. If we were an EA gamer, I would be loving life. But alas, 'twas not to be. Now we have to deal with a Giratina deck that gets not only a turn to set itself up, but will also get a turn next turn as well. We cannot attack with our deck unless we get Energy and Arceus on turn 1. So it's going to be real tricky. It's going to be real difficult. There might be a combo that we can get off with like a Raihan or something like that, but I'm feeling like right now we are in a bit of trouble. At least next turn we'll be able to Iono and draw some more cards. We can potentially play down Lost City, which wouldn't be too bad. Ironically, Lost City very good against Lost Zone decks that like to shuffle Pokemon back in. We'll wait and see. We'll see whether or not it is going to happen for us. Our opponent has a pretty solid board state, and it looks like they're just going to go for another flower selecting here. I think that's fair. I think if they've got a Switch cart or an Escape Rope in their hand, this Comfey is pretty strong right now. We don't want to see this deck not attack turn 1. They're going to go for a Mirage Gate. They've already got 7 cards in the Lost Zone. They're going to accelerate some energy onto Giratina, and this is where this deck becomes very, very difficult to deal with. But luckily, they've already attached and they pass the turn. So we are going to now, I think we have to just judge and hope that we hit a double turbo energy. I think it comes down to that. If we hit double turbo, we're living the dream. This is really bad, but at least we get to use our Trinity Charge attack. So we can accelerate some energy now. We're going to go, I think, with a couple of metal and a basic fighting. The dark energy is a little bit awkward. We are going to attach a couple of energy around the board here, giving us some flexibility. Potentially should have attached a metal energy to the Duraludon, but this means that we can find an Arceus VSTAR and attack next turn. And I'm hopeful that our opponent plays some sort of disruption card. If they do, that would be great, but I don't see it happening. Another Colress from them, so they are just popping off over here. They are just doing everything that they need to win this game. Getting all those cards, sending them to the Lost Zone. Don't even have time to load in. Thanks, Pokemon TCG Live. You don't even have time to load in the card before it is sent to the Shadow Realm. I think that was an Iono that just got Lost Zone. There's a Giratina V-Star. This is looking awkward, to say the least. But hey, at least if the video isn't good, you won't see it. So that doesn't matter. But right now, you can make the assertion that the game must be winnable, or at least close, because if you're seeing this, the game is continuing. So you can at least say that. You can at least accept that this is potentially a good game. They are going to Lost Zone a couple of energy, and we are now going to promote an Arceus V, and we're going to hope to all that is... Actually, let's go with the Duraludon. Let's go to the Duraludon. It's safer. We don't need it. We need the Arceus. Adventurous Discovery! Okay, well, this is fine. Let's go the Arceus V-Star. Let's go the Duraludon, and we can grab an Umbreon here as well. And suddenly our hand has gone from really bad to really, really good. Really, really bad to really, really good. We've got the Arceus V-Star, and now we can use Starbirth and get a Metal Energy, which we missed last turn. So we can search for that. I don't know what else we might go for here. Maybe an Escape Rope, possibly? I'm thinking maybe a Choice Belt could be useful. It's kind of awkward because our opponent can just take the knockout on this Duraludon. So maybe we just search out the Iono here. We can use G-Max Pulverization, deal 220 damage to this Giratina, and then I'm thinking we hit them with the Iono, and we pray. I think that's pretty much all we need to do here. If they manage to get their star, star thingamajig, they V-Star power and kill our Duraludon, we Iono them to 1 and say, good luck. Good luck, friend. If you have the cards, then you're a winner, and if you don't, then whatever. We're going to move on with our lives. I can also attach double turbo energy to the Arceus and attack next turn if I want to. They're going to use Boss's Orders to get the Arceus. So maybe, just maybe, we have a strong, strong chance to win this game if all goes well. We're going to get rid of 2 Psychic Energies. Alright, well, now the question is, does our opponent have an out to Iono to 2? We are down 6 prizes to 2. We're going to try and come back into this. Iono is the key. We're going to Iono ourselves to 6, our opponent to 2. They have plenty of draw, but we have plenty of options now as well. We've got another Arceus. If we want to, we can play that. I don't think we need to. I'm just going to play the Lost City here. And then we're going to G-Max Pulverization, knock out the active. We'll see whether our opponent can find another Tina. Now, if their two cards are Tina V-Star and Grass Energy, they simply win the game. They get 5 cards to look at here, 2 from the Iono, 1 from the top deck, 2 from the flower selecting. But if they whiff and don't get another Giratina V, then we actually have Boss's Orders onto the benched Giratina to give ourselves another turn at least. So we'll see what they have here. This is the joy of this kind of deck, which is really quite difficult to get cards into, like, to get plays to have... What am I talking about? It's really hard for your opponent to have a good play when you Iono them to a low hand size, and you are in a good position. Now, I have a Mirage Gate so they can retreat here. Maybe they have a Switch card in hand? Looks like they're going for another Comfey. Do they find the Giratina V-Star? If they find it, they win. If they don't, we boss, right? They've got Path. Boss. Okay. I think we're going to win here. What's their last card, do you reckon? Nothing at the moment. Okay. Suddenly, the game is afoot. And another boss. We're going to come back. We're going to come back and win this game. We're going to retreat into the Duraludon. Then we're going to play Boss's Orders. We're going to bring up that Giratina on the bench. We have Lost City if we want it, but I don't think we need it. I think we're just going to hit into the Giratina, they concede, and somehow we win. That's incredible. Well, tell you what, Arcdura Umbreon has outs everywhere. Thanks everyone for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, etc. Description, there's the deck. Check it out. I'll see you all next time for more from the Sableyes. Bye. I don't know how we won that.